Hey guys, welcome back to Bia
Lee Cosmetics.
So in today's video, we are going to be doing our full face highlight, contour, blush, all that fun jazz, just to show you guys how we get our really good base, so that way when you put anything else on top, it's not going to move. You're going to be good to go for the whole day.
And yeah, that's pretty much it.
So if you want to see how to get this look, what do you got to do?
You gotta keep on watching.
Duh. Stop waving, Carly.
I'm gonna start off with my primer. I use the Nivea Men Sensitive Skin Aftershave Balm.
I'm going straight into my foundation. I'm using the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Glow in shade 208 because I do have a spray tan. Anyone in Toronto, check out Bronze by Bloom. I'll link her information down below. So yeah, I just start by putting this, literally dotting it all over my face. Then I'm going to take my Real Techniques buffing brush to kind of, I don't know what this motion is called, pounce it out.
Stippling?
Stippling, yeah, that's the one.
And I'm going in with my MAC Strobe Cream and Gold Light. And I'm just putting it on the high points of my face.
I really like this foundation because it gives you such a beautiful, healthy glow to your skin. It makes you look so radiant. So I'm just doing buffing motions, really getting it into my ears and down my neck so that everything is in unison. Also buffing it back into your hairline.
Next, I'm going in with my Makeup Forever Ultra HD stick, as per usual. I'm just gonna put that all over the face. And I'm going in with my Morphe M439 brush to buff it out.
Oops. For concealer, I'm taking my Soft Matte Complete Concealer from NARS in Medium Custard on my Morphe E10. I really like this brush to apply my concealer. I use my concealer to really highlight and brighten up my under eyes. So I'm bringing it in a kind of triangle motion this way, just under both eyes. And you always want to bring it down, that way you're really illuminating. I take a little bit on my chin, my cupid's bow, just the bridge of my nose. Because I don't want to really accentuate my nose, I only put it on the bridge, not down on this part, because I already have a lengthy nose, so I don't want to make it look longer. And then I also just put it up onto my forehead as well to give some dimension.
And I'm going to start in with my highlight with the Tarte Shape Concealer in light neutral. And again, just like Bianca, I'm going to put it under my eye in a downward triangle.
I just go back in with my Real Techniques buffing brush again and buff it out.
Highlight my chin. Cupid's bow. Just the tip of my nose I do. So I like a more lifted look.
So when I go in to blend out my concealer underneath, I do stippling motions again, and then I buff it downwards to really blend that together. Bring a little bit onto my eye, but just make sure that if you do, you really want to set that after, but I will go through that.
And I'm going to go in and blend my concealer with my Beauty Blender, really making sure that I'm blending out the creases underneath my eyes as I go.
You always want your last motion to be inwards, that way you're filling up the crease rather than dragging the product out. Alright, so now I'm going to go in with my Laura Mercier Translucent Setting Powder just to really bake and make sure my concealer stays on all day. I'm going in with my Mini Beauty Blender. I really like this one because it gets into like the crease of my eye. Before I go back in with this, I always take my finger and just pat out any creases that I find. And I'm just pressing that powder in to really lock down that product. You might look crazy, but it's okay.
I'm also going to go in with my Laura Mercier translucent setting powder to begin baking under my eyes.
I'm also gonna go bake anywhere else that I just highlighted. So my chin, on here as well. For me, around the rings of my nose tend to crease a lot, so I'm really gonna push that product in and bake around there as well.
Instead of baking the rest of my areas with the translucent setting powder, I go in with the pressed setting powder, also by Laura Mercier. I tend to get really oily and greasy and crease throughout the day in my creases of my nose as well as my smile lines. So I just grab my Morphe E41, dip into the powder, and pat it on.
I know it's hard when you're doing your makeup to not wrinkle your forehead, but try not to. If you do, just go back in, blend it out. And then I take my fluffy brush, and this is just from the Humber Spa. I'm putting some setting powder on there, and I'm really gonna push it into my skin and then buff it out, just so that way any products I put on after, because I am using a powdered contour today, aren't gonna get patchy.
And while my under eyes are baking, I'm gonna start with my cream contour. So I'm using my Tarteist Pro Glow.
What do you like in your coffee? Let us know.
And I'm gonna go in with the shade Shade.
Shade's
literally called Shade. And I'm gonna use my Anastasia 18 brush.
I'm gonna take actually all the letters and words are off of this, but I think it's a contour brush from Real Techniques on my Tarte Pro Glow To Go Mini with chisel. So to contour, let's get really in depth here.
Okay. Well, to start with my placement, I'm placing it just above the hollows of my cheeks, so that if when I'm blending it does come down a little bit, it's landing in the hollow.
So best way to find out where you should put your contour is from the top of your ear. Bring that line down, and you never want to pass your contour from the middle of your pupil, because then that's really going to sag your face rather than what you're trying to achieve is a lifted cheekbone. And you really want to smile and then place the product where you want it, so you have that line, but then you're going to do circular motions and always buff upwards. If you buff downwards, you're going to really drag that line down, and once again you want to keep it all lifted. So then from there, I'm going to go take a little bit more product, bring it in on my temple and a little bit on my forehead. I do have a smaller forehead, so I don't need much. I just want to keep everything in unison. And then from here, I'm going to bring it, attach it here, just beside my ear, and draw it down my jawline. So in essence, you're making a 3.
And like Bianca said with the foundation, you also want to make sure that your contour is going into your hairline, so you don't have, again, a different color ring around your face. You want everything to blend.
You really want your contour to be diffused, because if you have just that stark line, it's not going to look like a shadow. A shadow is really subtle. So again, on the other side, coming from my ear, I'm going to place that product while I'm smiling. Circular motions, and really diffuse it out.
And as we all know from other videos, I have a really big forehead. So I'm going to contour my forehead as well. So I'm going to place it at the top, around the hairline.
So definitely for contour, everyone has a different face shape. So take what we say with a grain of salt, but kind of change it for your bone structure.
I'm just going to buff this into my hairline.
Whenever I bring it down on my jawline, I kind of take the excess powder and just run it along my neck. That way you're really getting that solid line. Sorry, that way you're not getting a solid line. Also, we didn't mention this, we already have eyelashes on. I'm wearing the Ardell Double Wispies.
And I'm wearing just the Ardell Wispies.
So now that my contour is done, I'm going to go back in with my Humber brush and just buff away all of that powder you really want to make sure you buff it into your skin and out. That way you're not getting any flashback or a white cast in pictures.
And because I cream contoured first, you always want to make sure that you set your cream with a powder. So, what?
So yeah.
Oh yeah. So I'm going in again with the same palette, and I'm just using the shade Sculpt. And you want to make sure that you're not going in with a harsh, you want to make sure you're not going in with a lot of product. You would rather build it slowly because you don't want a lot of product to just create a, what's the word?
Less is more, basically.
Less
you can
is more.
always
build it up.
to add more than to take it away.
And it'll look a lot more natural.
I mean, realistically, it is makeup. It just comes off, but
if you don't have to redo it, then it could save you some time.
Work smarter, not harder.
Yeah.
I'm just taking the leftover powder that was on my brush to set my eyelids. So if I want to shadow, nothing would crease, but today I'm just gonna keep it pretty simple. On my Sigma F40 brush, I'm gonna take my NARS blush in Madly. Now for me, because I already have accentuated cheeks, I'm gonna take this from just above where we did our contour. But you still want to kind of blend it all together, and I'm gonna do some pressing motions. Just use your brushes softly. And like we said before, less is more. So I bring it from here all the way back to really define that cheek even more. And then I take whatever's left and I just lightly brush it on the apples of my cheek because they already get super rosy in general. So I focus it more to the back to give it more structure.
And I'm whitening and just wiping away my translucent powder. And just to further cut my contour, I'm going to go back in with the Laura Mercier translucent setting powder. And I'm just going to cut underneath where I just put the contour. While that's cooking, I'm going to go in with my MAC Cosmetics blush in the shade Margin. And I don't have appley cheeks like Bianca, so I apply it to the apples, and then with whatever's left over, I bring it back. And as I've mentioned in other videos, I always like to apply whatever's left over on my blush brush to the center of my nose, center of my forehead, and my chin.
I'm still trying to find a brush. I'm very unprepared. So for our highlighter today, I'm gonna go in with my Glow Kit. This is the That Glow one on the Anastasia highlighting brush.
And I'm going in with the Becca Champagne Pop in my Morphe M510 brush.
I'm going in with Dripping in Gold and Bubbly, and then because I do have a little bit of a tan, I like to take a little bit of golden bronze just to give me that warm glow. Now for your highlighter, you want to go just on top of your blush on that. If you go like this on your face, you can feel that bone. That's where you want to pop that highlight. And then, sorry, go ahead.
No worries, I was just gonna say, I don't like to bring my highlight too forward into the apples of my cheeks because your pores are larger there. So if you're filling in your pores with your highlighter, it's just not gonna be pretty. And it's gonna look chunky, and you don't want that.
You're just gonna look crazy.
And grainy. And
just don't do it! So I bring it in like a kind of an acute triangle. Is that even a thing?
I don't know the difference between all the triangles.
Yeah, me either, but I just wanted to sound smart. So I just bring it here and then here. And just kind of like in a C, and I just go back and forth a couple times. Same thing I'm gonna do on the other side.
And I like to lightly brush it just above the point of my brow. It photographs beautifully.
But don't forget, please do not forget, go back in with your foundation brush, your beauty blender, whatever, and just buff it out. Because you don't want to just have a straight line. Everything you want it to look natural. Obviously, we know that putting all this makeup on is not natural, but you want to make it look as natural as possible, so you just look like you're having a healthy glow. So you look like a healthy glow. I'm gonna take a little bit of this highlighter, pop it underneath my brow, down exactly where I had highlighted, so just for me on the bridge of my nose, and then on my cupid as well.
And for my nose, I like to make a little exclamation point. So I'm going in with my Morphe M213. And I'm just making a little circle. And it just creates like an illusion that your nose is a little bit more lifted as opposed to dragged down.
So I like to take a little bit on my finger and rub that on my cupid's bow, if that was English. Another little trick too, I'm gonna take my contour. I'm just gonna take it on a small brush. So I take that contour color and I put it right into the middle of my cupid's bow, so in that hollow. So it really accentuates and gives your lips like a little bit of a pout.
And I like to put a little bit of highlighter on my chin, but you don't want to go too crazy on the chin because it just looks bad. Just very lightly, I just press my brush and then I even go over it just with my fingers to pat it out.
And then obviously I went back in with my brush to blend it out.
I'm gonna wipe away this baking. Once my baking is wiped away, usually once my makeup's all done before I set my face, I go in with my MAC Give Me Sun bronzer. Just because the contour that I use is very cool tone, I do like to warm up my face a little bit. So I just dip my brush in, tap off the excess, and then I just go over where I contoured. Brushing it into my hairline and under my jaw and bringing it down my neck.
I'm gonna set my face with the Marc Jacobs Recover Perfecting Coconut Setting Mist. So, just bathe in it.
And I'm gonna set my face with my Morphe Continuous Setting Mist.
That's nice. Voila!
And we're done. So this is the final product of our full highlight and contour routine.
If you like what you saw, don't forget to like and subscribe. And we'll see you next time.
And follow us on social media.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.